Hi guys, welcome back. Today I have no idea what I'm going to do, so I thought I'd start off by showing you where I get some of my ideas from. And no, I'm not going to point the camera into my ear hole. This is basically my bench where I do the bulk of my cutting, welding, gooning about, offering things up to other things to see if I can come up with an idea. And then, as we move up here, in the corner there you'll see a stock of spanners, bits and pieces, odds and sods. Up here you'll also see all important Lego, because you can never have too much Lego, and then my collection of sprockets hanging up amongst other things. And then from there, God knows what happens in the meantime, but every now and again I come up with something to make. Everything you've seen in the last few videos is currently at spray quick powder coating. Hopefully I'll have that back soon and I can show you some pictures of the finished results. Wait and see. So I'm just going to stop this for a moment while I put the camera down or somewhere safe so I can't mess it up. See what happens next, eh? Okay, so that's the camera safe. I've been trying to work out what to do with these, which are, as you can tell, more offcuts of cheap spanners. If you're wondering what happened to the other end, I made them into some coasters. I will show you an image of those when they're back from the powder coaters. The reason I didn't film the making of those was I didn't come out here to make them, and I was out here tinkering around wondering what I could do, and then I just made them. I think to make a set of 4 took me maybe 5 hours in total once I'd worked out what I was doing. If you take out the messing about, thinking about it stage, it probably took me 3.5 hours. God knows what goes on inside my head. I don't like to look too deeply. What I was toying with doing today is grinding these back to the normal status I start with. Same with this chainring, and I was toying with seeing how I would go about welding these into something. Have I got enough there? No, I need another one. But I was thinking about trying to put these together mechanism deep enough to go all the way through there. I hadn't thought about that. Right, well that's one idea. Another thought I'd had was, is there a way I could join these up, sort of like that, in order to make table mats. I suppose if I did it like that, trim those odd edges off, I suppose it would have helped if I'd measured one before I came out. Oh well, let's shunt that out right. I wonder, I know it's all offset at the moment. I had a steel rule once. What have I done with that? The dangers of putting things away when you stop using them. Oh, in a previous video I mentioned something about every now and again the music will disappear. Turns out the rest of the volume gets very low and hard to hear as well. The program that YouTube uses, and I apologise to YouTube because I called it Facebook in that video, it is only in beta at the moment, so while it takes out the music, any other background noise like me talking, and let's face it, that is background noise, that gets reduced if not completely removed. I apologise for that, just in case you think you're missing something fascinating. Chances are you're not, it's just me babbling away. That's not quite big enough, is it, to be a placemat? Have I got anything in here of a similar dimension? I wonder, dead iPad's about the same size, isn't it? So it's going to work out very slightly narrower and needs to be at least 3 spanners longer. So let's just retrieve that. Okay, I've got enough for 2 extra. Close. Right, 3 extra spanners is the right length. As it turns out, I have got enough, just. That's assuming, of course, that a placemat and an iPad are approximately the same size. Excuse me. Now I'm looking at that, I don't like it at all. Although I'm now toying with the idea. Here's a question for you. Why are table placemats predominantly rectangular? I've asked this question of my good lady and her best friend, and my lady, bless her, actually just went, "Oh, I've got some round ones. I've never seen them, but what do I know?" Yeah, so with that thought in mind, I'm just reaching up past the camera now. How about I'd have to trim that off a bit. Kind of like that. Kind of. Well, mostly. Well, a bit anyway. I could always take one of those. Just nick it out. So the ends would be connected there, there. Quite like that idea. Although I have a sneaking feeling what I will have to do is measure a plate, because I can see that going horribly wrong. Oh, that's one thought anyway. Where did I get that from there? That would involve a huge amount of cutting. What I'm doing, for some other form of placemat, take off the excess metal there and just weld them all flat together with the edges touching. No, don't like it. It's strange, the things that seem like a good idea inside my head, and then I just offer them up and I go right off them almost straight away. I think, therefore it might occur, I think what I'll do, I'll start off with that idea for a different trivet come clock face, and if I ever make a decision, I'll start off by playing with the grinding wheel. So to help speed the process along a little bit, what I will do Okay. Let's make some noise. Inevitable. That was really hot. How many times have I done this and I am stuck cooking my fingers repeatedly? I've heard of intelligence. Really must see where I can buy a functioning one. Because as you can tell, mine doesn't. Right, you don't need to watch me do that for another go round while I do the other three, so see you in a minute. If I can just find the stop button, of course. Which I can. Okay, so there we are. All 6 at the moment. Not quite sure whether they're going to be legs for a trivet or arms on a clock. When I say arms, I don't mean the hands that move. So there you go. They've all come up beautifully. Really pleased with those. So I'm going to put those to one side now, so I basically can't mess them up in the interim. And now I'll polish these up and keep trying to decide whether or not I'm making a clock face or a trivet. I genuinely cannot make a decision just now. Why? Your guess is probably better than mine. And there we go. Suitably shiny, so I'll pop that up there with the other bits and pieces. Do this last small one, and then we'll play offer it all up and see what we think, eh? See you in a bit. Okay, so everything's polished up. That's the last small one that I've just done. A little bit different to the matte black one covered in muck. The question now is still, is this going to be a trivet or a clock face? If I pop this on, I would do it somewhat like that. Somewhat, something even. Oh, I'm glad I studied English. Okay, so that's it now. I'm just wondering whether it might be nice as a finisher if I can ever get this chainring off the hook. There we go. Bearing in mind this is one that was cleaned up a while ago for another job that I never actually continued with. I would tell you why, but the honest answer is I don't have the first clue. So if that sort of sat there, and that came in over the top, there we go, like that. I rather like that. And that middle chainring that's a slightly different colour doesn't add anything to the overall thickness, so from a clock making standpoint that's still relatively easy. Of course I've got to double check the depth of it, make sure I can get a mechanism with a long enough drive shaft. Never leave home without your vernier caliper. Good job I'm in my own garage and I haven't gone anywhere. That's going to be the best way of doing this. Not by knocking everything off, that's for sure. Okay, so that... oh, that should be easy, that's bang on 17mm thick. I really have got to make a decision about what I'm doing. Got to make a decision, so methinks decision making might require sleeping on it, or going and asking my lady boss, because she's got a better idea of these things than me sometimes, or just talking to her helps. And she'll probably say, why don't you just, and I'll look at it and wonder exactly that. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to take a picture of it so I can show her. And see what she thinks. So, until next time, thanks very much. Okay, so spoke to the management and asked her whether I should turn this into a clock or a trivet, and it was a resounding turning it into a trivet. So here we go. So welders on, as you can see. I've already got the ground strap on. I'm also hoping that will be enough just to hold her in place while I start tacking it in together. See what happens next, eh? The worst that can happen is it all goes completely and utterly pear-shaped. I get to swear at myself and start over. So let's see what happens when I hit it with a bit of power. interesting. On to the next. Well, in fairly general terms, my welds are improving. I'm holding that too far away. Well, that one was crap. Oh well, tiny cock 1 up out of 6 isn't bad, I suppose. Moment to trivet time. Would you believe it? One of the ones that looked good has fallen straight off. Right, clean that up. Get that off there. I've just broken off another one. Which just goes to prove I'm not as clever as I'd like to think I am. Okay, I see a lot of work with the grinder coming on, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Right, I'm going to get to work sorting that mess out. See you for the next stage.